Desiderata was written by Max Ehrmann, who was an American poet, writer, and philosopher. The poem was written in 1927 and it brought him a great deal of fame. The poem has a universal appeal because the context of the poem is appropriate to the people of all ages. Now, Desiderata is a prose poem. What is a prose poem? A prose poem is a poem which is written in prose form instead of verse form, but it preserves many of the poetic qualities like heightened imagery, emotional effect, etc. Desiderata is a Latin word which means desired things or things desired. The poem Desiderata is inspirational and motivational in nature. In this poem, the poet gives us a set of instructions or some valuable advices, following which we can be able to lead a better and happy life. Before we get to the poem, I would like to recommend you to read one more poem quite similar in tone and appeal. The name of the poem is If by Rudyard Kipling. You will find both the poems If and Desiderata to be complementary to each other. Now we shall go through the poem and understand the meaning of each of the lines. Go placidly amid the noise and haste. Placidly means in a calm and quiet manner. To deal with everything peacefully. Amid means in the middle of. The world is full of noisy confusion. Everywhere the situation is chaotic. Everywhere there is hustle and bustle. The poet advises us to remain calm and quiet, to keep a tranquil state of mind, even in the middle of this world of noise. And remember what peace there may be in silence. He says that there is a great deal of peace in keeping quiet or remaining silent. If you can maintain silence, you can feel a great inner delight. It will give you enough mental peace. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. He tells us to keep friendly terms with all the people around us. We should try to keep good relation with everybody, but not at the cost of losing our personality, not at the cost of giving up all our ideals and principles. There are people who try to win favor of others by compromising with anything unjust or losing their individual identity. But that is not what the poet tells us to do. Speak your truth quietly and clearly and listen to others. Then the poet advises us to speak the truth or reveal the truth in a quiet and clear manner and not in a loud way. Not only this, at the same time, we should listen to the views and opinions of other people. We should also allow others to put forward their points of view. Even to the dull and ignorant, they too have their story. Some people around you may appear to be dull and ignorant to you. You may consider them to have no wisdom, no intellect, or you think them to have a limited sphere of knowledge. But who knows, they too can possess some valuable advices for you. They too can teach you something which you did not know earlier. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexatious to the spirit. Aggressive means persons with a loud demonstration, a habit of hostility. Vexatious means creating troubles, disquiet, or annoyance. The poet tells us to avoid loud speaking and aggressive people in our society because these kinds of people may disturb our peaceful state of mind. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. He also tells us not to go for any kind of comparison with others. Comparison often makes you proud and boastful and sometimes bitter and disappointed. When you find others inferior to you, you become very proud of yourself. Again, when you find people superior to you, it creates a sort of bitterness in you for not being equal to them in status. Therefore, there is no need of comparing because you will always find some people greater than you and some lesser than you. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. He also advises to enjoy every moment of your achievement and success. You have every right to feel great when you gain achievement. But at the same time, we should make future plans to get more success in days to come and not get restricted to this achievement only. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It's a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Humble means not so magnificent or superior in degree. The poet tells us to remain satisfied or keep interested in whatever occupation we are in. There is nothing disgraceful. Your career is your real asset, your real belonging. Nobody knows what may turn up unexpectedly. This very occupation or career may bring to you a great deal of prosperity in course of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. Caution means warning against some probable bad effects. Trickery means deception or to trap someone with cunningness. At the same time, he tells us to be warned and careful as far as business affairs or regular activities are concerned, because the world is full of trickery or cunningness, that is, the world is full of treacherous and disloyal people. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Virtue means moral qualities or principles. Strive means to try to achieve a result. But in order to be so much cautious or careful, don't be blind to the people of virtue, because there are of course cunning people around us, but there are good people as well. Therefore, don't be so suspicious that you fail to notice the goodness among some people around you. There are indeed many people who strive for, that is, put their hardest effort for cherishing moral values and principles. There are people in this world with heroic qualities. Be yourself, and within all these, always try to be what you actually are. Always try to expose your real self only. Especially do not feign affection. Feign means to pretend to be something. Particularly, do not ever pretend to be loving. Do not make a false show that you have enough love and affection for others. Maybe that in reality you don't have any such feeling for others. You are only showing that you have. So the poet does not support the act of pretension. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Cynical means distrustful of human nature or having doubts on other people. Aridity means barren and unproductive land. Disenchantment means feeling of disappointment. The poet again says to us not to be critical or doubtful about love. It is true that the world has become full of barrenness and disappointment, but love is still there as long as mankind exists. It is as perennial as, that is, as continuous as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Counsel means advice. We must learn lessons from the years that we have already spent. These past years have taught us a lot. We should put our experiences to practical use. We must get the benefit of the experiences that we have gained from these years. At the same time, we should willingly surrender or give up the habits and practices of the youth, because those habits and practices will no longer suit us. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune. Nurture means to develop. Shield means to protect. Misfortune means bad luck. He advises us to build or develop a mental strength so that we can protect ourselves in bad times or in adversity. But do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Distress here means to cause anxiety. At the same time, the poet tells us not to be sad with negative thoughts. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Fatigue means physical or mental exhaustion. Sometimes fearful thoughts come from extreme exhaustion or solitude. We must try to prevent them from coming. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. Wholesome here means the extent of something. Here he tells us that we have to be disciplined. We have to follow some guidelines and principles of life. But it should not be to such a height that you forget to be easy to yourself. You are a child of the universe. no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be there. These lines mean, don't forget that you are a part of this universe, like the trees and the stars. You are here because you had to be here. It is your destiny to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Unfolding means opening or providing. The given lines mean whether you are aware of the fact or not, at every single moment you are guided by the law of nature or by the law of universe. It is the law of universe that makes us do what we do. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive Him to be. Conceive means how you take something. He therefore advises us to have complete trust in God, to have a firm faith in God, no matter what name we call God by. And whatever your labors and aspirations, in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. He tells us to keep peace in mind and soul in the middle of this noisy confusion of the world, and continue with our work and ambition. With all its sham, drudgery and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful, strive to be happy. Sham means bogus or falsehood. Drudgery means dull or uninspiring work. Broken dreams mean shattered dreams. The poet finally advises us that it is still a beautiful world in the middle of these falsehood, dullness, and shattered hopes. So we should be cheerful and try our best to remain happy. In this way, the poet ends up with a note of optimism.